What made her this way? What is the attraction? What keeps us fascinated? This is the story of Chris Chan. On July 29th, 2018, as Christine was on her way back home from attending the My Little Pony-themed BronyCon convention, her mother's 2002 Dodge Caravan that she was driving broke down at a Sheetz gas station in Bealton, Virginia, a couple of hours from home. She posted of her troubles on Twitter, letting her followers know that she followed troubleshooting steps but to no avail. She also text messaged Kiwi Farms user The Captain about her predicament, informing him that she had less than $20 between all of her financial accounts, which would make calling a tow truck near impossible. The Captain was then granted access to Chris's Twitter account to write that her insurance company, State Farm, would cover $100 in tow truck costs, but she still required another $100 in personal funds, and so encouraged followers to donate to her PayPal account. After receiving enough donations, the Captain returned to Twitter to post that a tow truck was on its way to pick up Chris and the car, and that Chris's mother, Barbara, was not angry, but rather sad and worried for her safety. While waiting, Chris posted a video on Twitter showing her pacing around the car as she waits for the tow truck.
Yep, this is me, killing time, waiting for the tow truck. They'll be here in less than an hour, and what am I doing? I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking, around the van, around and around the van.
As Chris was waiting and pacing, the Captain confirmed that the gas station received several troll phone calls accusing Chris of begging instead of being stranded. In the early hours of July 30th, the tow truck picked up Chris and her mother's car, and upon arriving home, Christine wrote that she was back home safely, and as a bonus, Barbara had cleaned up her bedroom while she was away, doing a quote-unquote good service. However, as revealed in a later text message sent to her teenage friends Lucas and Devil, Chris's mother threw out many of her possessions without consulting her beforehand, such as some of her favorite VHS tapes, which made Chris think that Barbara wanted to subconsciously force her to leave the house. In addition, Christine discovered her mother had thrown out her classic striped polo shirt. The iconic striped Ralph Lauren rugby shirt of mine is misplaced, and we're looking, and my mother is trying to remember where she saw it. I fear she had trashed it by mistake, but Magi-chan informs me that the shirt is still here in the house somewhere. There were a number of full trash bags outside. I just went through the 5 we brought back in after I got back home. I, like I foresaw, felt very frustrated and upset. So I showed her what I recovered and told her how I felt. And, with her watching, I yelled at a body pillow pretending it was her. I pretended I had my iconic shirt in hand and I slapped, punched, and even humped, then tossed the pillow towards the head of my bed. Then, with that as her punishment for that reckless good-intention misdeed, I forgave her for that whole mess. But I still miss my shirt, holes and all. So, that is why I'm very interested in contacting Ralph Lauren to reproduce the shirt and make 3 of them for me. And, right now, I'm looking on eBay for the same shirt. Sigh. On July 30th, as both of the Chandlers' vehicles were being repaired, Christine walked 4 miles to the post office to send out a selection of items bought by her supposed fans on eBay. She posted a series of videos on Twitter documenting the event.
I'm walking, yes indeed I'm walking, like you and me I'm walking, and I'm walking, yes indeed I'm walking, like you and me I'm walking, and walking, you get to enjoy the scenery more than just driving on by. Spoiled children.
After a while, she got to the post office and made another update video.
Hey everybody, guess what? I made it to the post office about 4:15 p.m. It started raining when I was halfway through, but I made it. I'm wet, but I'm alive. I'm enjoying the hydration. I'm shipping a bunch of autographed photos out, and I got an important package to pick up.
Another video update followed upon returning home.
Hey everybody, I just made it home! I walked every single step, though I stopped at Taco Bell for a little edibles, a little filling, a little good stuff. But anyway, I walked the entire 2+ miles. Let's check my Fitbit. Woo! 23,000. But aside from that, I do thank y'all so much for donating to help me in this emergency situation. The money will be spent to pay for the car as well. So it's all very good. I'm not cheating anyone. Everyone should know that by now. I'm direct, I'm honest, I'm sincerely kind. I'm awesome to hang out with. Okay?
On the final day of July, Christine went to Facebook to write that she apparently found out what one of the so-called 69 special Sonichus and Rose Chews looked like. She then detailed and drew the appearance of Sturbanchu, a Sonichu character introduced to her by the Idea Guys. She also revealed her incomplete list of the 69 special Sonichus, a concept also brought to her by the Idea Guys, Joshua Wise, and Stephen Boyd. These included Chris's own original Sonichus and a large number of characters that the Idea Guys told her about, which were often in name referencing controversial figures of the time or inside jokes, including Logan Paul Chew, Cosby Chew, Fogel Chew, Replacement Rose Chew, and Slavichu. On August 1st, Chris went online to reveal that her mother had found a leather pouch containing some rocks of upwards to 26 years old, which were purported to bring their holder physical and emotional relief. She hung the pouch on a necklace and carried it in her bosom constantly. Also on that day, Chris shared a tweet from voice actress Tara Strong, which featured images of some of the characters she had played, wishing these so-called girlfriends a happy National Girlfriends Day. Chris added that she would not be repeating her mistake from last year's Girlfriend Day, which resulted in a public falling out between her and illustrator and voice actress Doopy Doover, so she simply expressed her love for her lady friends without naming them. The next day, a Twitter user posted a short video clip of them in the process of making a Sonichu plush doll. Christine came to ask the plushie maker why Sonichu's mouth protruded as much as it did. They agreed that the mouth looked a little long, but did not mean to change it, as it may look more balanced later on. Chris also felt the mouth, which threw her off, should remain as was, as she was sure she would get used to its imperfections. On August 3rd, Christine finalized the comic book that had been heavily influenced by the Idea Guys. Originally designated as Issue 16, the comic was now known as Sonichu Issue 13, or The Awakening of a CPU, also known as The Idea Guy Corruptions. On the artless front cover, Chris warned her readers that even though all the events in the comic were true and actually happened, the book was filled with offensive material with which she did not agree. In contrast to previous works, this issue was not scanned and shared page by page, and was not in full uploaded online upon completion, and was instead physically printed and then sent to her Patreon backers to avoid having her account terminated due to the content of the pages. The issue is also distinctly text-heavy, presented in her original handwriting, with the majority of the pages remaining uncolored. The story begins with Christine recounting her idea of how she came in contact with John Yamada, a soldier from game industry who was in reality portrayed by Joshua Wise. He tells her to go to her Sega Dreamcast game console, for it contained the key to creating a portal between dimensions. Magi-chan teleported to her and scanned the console. Upon touching it, they felt electricity surge through them, and a portal opened up into the world depicted in the game and anime series Hyperdimension Neptunia. Chris then details the struggles and battles in Quickville between various foes and heroes from different franchises, including Akan from the film Hardcore Henry, Monica from the game Doki Doki Literature Club, and the Sailor Scouts from the anime Sailor Moon. Later on, Quickville gets attacked by Akan, leading a troop of Russian cloakers taken from the game series Stalker. Because of Akan, Quickville Shopping Mall and then later Chris's own house get destroyed, but then quickly restored back to normality again. While signing a peace treaty, Akan then opens up a time vortex which sucks in Chris and Sonichu. While Chris remains trapped, Sonichu gets forcibly relocated to Africa, where he is chased by the natives. Along the way, he meets with Dr. Emmett Brown from the Back to the Future film series, who offers to give him a ride back to Quickville. Chris goes on to explain that in Quickville's dimension, the USA lost the Cold War to Russia and as a consequence are ruled by the Russian Federation. In 2016, Hillary Clinton was elected president, but after violently falling ill, she was replaced by Vladimir Putin of Russia. This resulted in riots between the Russian mafia and the Japanese organized crime collective, the Yakuza. In Quickville, Ian Brandon Anderson was elected as sheriff, and the new mayor of Quickville was the actor Brendan Fraser. Chris reflected that during the male Christian Chandler's term in office, he revoked women's rights in the area and had banished Quickville's Megan Schroeder because of the way the real-world Megan had rejected Christian in 2007, stripping her of her special powers, though she was later promoted to a CPU goddess. Christine and John Yamada then traveled back in time to the year 2000 to prevent the old Christian from abolishing women's rights. Christine was very disappointed with the Christian of 2000, as he had been possessed by Satan or something. Christine discovered that Christian had become kidnapped and converted by Nazis, and had used the powers of his own Sonichu medallion to keep dictator Adolf Hitler alive. Christine killed off Christian and took away the powers of the medallion, causing Hitler to disintegrate into dust. John Yamada then traveled further back in time to prevent Christian's kidnapping, later learning that Christian had been taken to Islam to have his demonic possession exorcised by having his Sonichu medallion shoved up his anus. Christine then reveals that out of the 69 special Sonichu eggs that were emitted from the chaotic rainbow of February 1st, 2003, 2 of them resulted in her father, Bob Chandler, and herself. She declares herself as have been a real Sonichu for her whole life in the world of Quickville and the Chosen One. Aside from herself, she tells the readers that most of the residents of her town have become satanic, atheist, or what. Chris states that Angelica Rosechew, along with the entire Christian church of the town, first converted to Islamism, then Satanism. Blake Sonichu became an extremist who worshipped Islamic militant leader Osama bin Laden. Wild Sonichu began growing marijuana, which Chris did not mind much. However, she much objected to Wild's production of methamphetamines. Bubbles Rosechew started to identify as a muscular black male, and Punchy Sonichu wound up in an insane asylum. Chris then inserted the page she drew on December 7th, 2017, after learning from Joshua Wise that Rosechew had allegedly been born as a male and had gender reassignment surgery to become a fully functional female in 2008. Christine wrote extensively of how much these news upset her, largely because she had defended her over the years upon seeing troll-created imagery of Rosechew with a penis. After some time, Chris felt she could continue to love and cherish her Rosie regardless. She then added a short summary of how when Sonichu and Rosechew first met, they kissed a lot in sewage, and when they first made love, they role-played as hockey players. Chris then moves on to discuss the war between Quickville and the neighboring nation of Australatina, a fictional land created by noted lolcow ADF and introduced to Chris through Joshua Wise. The war was started when a quick defense soldier pooped on the border between the two nations and was then killed by the Austinians. Not long after the start of the war, DJ Jamsta Sonichu was sued by Punchy for sexual assault. Chris felt that he was not guilty, so she sent prayers and good vibes to the courthouse. As a result, Jamsta was found not guilty, but riots ensued across the town. A few days later, the Austinians killed the entire Quick Defense Force and took over the west half of Quickville. John Yamada and the CPU goddesses from Hyperdimension Neptunia defended the east side. The Russian troops then left the town, and in their place came the Nazis. They ended up burning Simone LaRoche alive. Meanwhile, in Equestria, thousands of evil Chris clones had evolved into a blobious form, which were all lured into an open field and burned by napalm. Chris then returns to talk about the occupying Nazi forces in Equestria and Quickville, highlighting that whenever one of them called her by the German male honorific, Herr, instead of the female, Frau, they would get doused with her own blood that multiplied from a single drop, and they would dissolve immediately and fully. The Nazis in Equestria are soon killed off by the My Little Pony character, Discord, the god of chaos. Kristen clarifies that the Nazis were in fact not completely melted by her blood, but survived, and as a consequence became infused with her DNA. Upon their banishment from Equestria, when they returned to Germany, they all transformed into Sonichus. They thusly disband their Reich altogether and give up their weapons under the command of the CPU goddess, Blonde. Next, in January 2018, John Yamada and Sonichu infiltrate a Nazi prison where Rosie Rosechu and Roberta had been raped and impregnated as part of a repopulation scheme. John and his crew destroy the facility, and he decapitates the warden. Sonichu zooms around attacking Nazi troops and slices them into pieces. Meanwhile, in the real world, Christine's father, Bob Chandler, appears alive and well in California. He is transported to the portal that would take him to Quickville. While there, he meets with 80s serial killer Ted Bundy, who had become reborn as a Sonichu and was an ally of Quickville. Minutes later, Bob Chandler and Ted Bundy travel through the portal and emerge in Quickville in their respective Sonichu forms. The Sonichus are very pleased to meet Bob, or as he is known now, Robert Chu, and express how much they have missed him. Chris illuminates that after they died, Ted and Bob did not go to heaven or hell, but transformed into Sonichus and traveled to the nation of Quickville, where they help defend it. The following day, Adolf Hitler, while giving a speech to his Nazi forces that were still occupying West Quickville, transforms into a Sonichu. The other Nazi soldiers also become Sonichus and Rosechus, and even male Rosechus and female Sonichus, as they had become infused with Christine's blood. The Nazis and their ideology soon dissolve. Soon after, the pregnant Rosie and Roberta gave birth to 3 male Rosies and 3 female Sonnies, respectively. The worlds of Quickville and Equestria then returned to normality. After 30 years of psychically defending the town and scanning for homosexuals, Magichan suffers a horrible mental breakdown, which causes a tear to form in the Earth's noosphere, causing violent storms, which Chris could not repair. Magichan further highlights that a big reason for why he was so mentally strained was that he spent so long during Chris's homophobic years scanning for homosexuals when he was gay himself, revealing his marriage to his Pokemon mentor, Mewtwo, and also Sylvana Rosechu. He states that once the tear was repaired, he would also marry Christine. In March 2018, Christine faces the tear in the noosphere and summons a myriad of transformative superpowers, which turn her into her super angelic evolved form, and she is able to close the 5-mile-long tear in 4 minutes, including a brief rest in the middle. Afterwards, Chris writes a 5-page-long tirade in which Chris Chan Sonichu criticizes Magichan for his reckless actions caused by jealousy. In the end, Chris Chan forgives him and surprises him with a kiss, promising that she will marry him. On the next page, she confesses that she is a bisexual trans woman, and was proud to have Magi-chan and Crizel Rosechu as her spouses. Christine then writes that Sonichu started a needless war against the CPUs, which Chris had to quell. In Quickville Shopping Center, Sonichu is shooting at unknown targets with a handgun when Christian Sonichu appears to stop him. She admits that she neglected Sonichu's and Rosechu's needs, and that many things around Quickville and herself had changed, and that she would have paid more care to the way Sonichu would react, considering that Sonichu was autistic as well. Chris goes on to confess that she had become bisexual and even had purchased an Xbox game console. She addresses Sonichu's concerns regarding the CPUs, saying that she was never brainwashed by them and simply listened to their information and advice. Christian then reveals that she is not as sex-crazed as she once was, and had begun to embrace more of her Sonichu side, for example, sleeping in a puddle of her own pee in her bed. She then telepathically sends Sonichu a quick overview of her recent life events to better illustrate how much she had changed. After this revelation, she begs for Sonichu's forgiveness. She professes her love for him and then kisses him on the lips. Christian promises that she will have sex with Sonichu, her son, later, but first urges that they undo some mistakes they had made. Sonichu expresses his appreciation for Chris, taking her share of the blame, but tells her that she made him too horny and so demands that they have sex immediately, possibly infected by the past Christian's sexual desires. Christian angrily refuses, and they get into a spat. Chris envisages a future in which Sonichu restrains her by force and rapes her. So in order to stop that possibility from happening, she uses her powers to confuse him and make him drop to the concrete. She then sticks her hand inside Sonichu's rectum and forms a fist, causing him to ejaculate. Christian then lifts him up into the air with her hand still firmly in his rectum and yells that he should be punished. Sonichu is physically restrained by Chris, who tells the audience that he will be punished in more graphic ways, which will not be depicted in the comics. Chris goes on to explain that Paxton Fattel, an antagonist from the video game series Fear, falsely claimed to wage war on Quickville. Christian Sonichu and Sonichu travel back in time to make sure he never visited Quickville, in turn ending up in a reality in which the Soviet Union never dissolved and ruled most of the world. They traveled further into the future to make sure that the USSR indeed did split up in 1991. They returned to the present day to a well-damaged Quickville, and Chris announces her plans to restore it to former glory. As an aside, she adds that the national anthem of Quickville is the song Think by Aretha Franklin. As an epilogue, Christine, while in her Christian Sonichu form, writes that John Yamada was a counterpart of the idea guy, Joshua Wise, who lives in the real world of Earth 1218. Chris admits that Wise royally messed with her in addition to the worlds of Quickville, Equestria, and the CPU goddesses themselves. Fortunately, with Magi-chan's guidance, she was able to stop Wise's destructive reign. Chris added that Wise and his accomplice, Stephen Boyd, had extorted from her $6,000 worth of gift cards and toys, which she was confident she would get back from them. However, she boasted that she got the best of Wise and Boyd because their treachery only strengthened her psychic link with the other worlds. Finally, Chris wrote that she had connected with the CPU goddess of the Commodore 64 console, CPU Blueheart, and had the goddess's consciousness transferred into her by touching the console, acquiring all her memories and knowledge. Chris thusly proclaims herself as CPU Blueheart of Kama and Quickville, in addition to being Christine Weston Chandler Sonichu. Upon completing the comic, Chris changed her name on her Twitter profile to Christian Sonichu /Blueheart, and her description read, "I am Miss Christine Weston Chandler, Sonichu, creator/chronicler of Sonichu and Rosechu, and CPU goddess of the nations of Quickville, Kama, and the Commodore consoles." Also on August 3rd, Christine uploaded a near-hour-long YouTube video in which she custom spray paints her new shoes to have the Sonichu colors of yellow and blue.
So there they are in their faded glory. So that's the old shoes, and here we have the new shoes. Same thing, a DS Neo. Took out the shoelaces a little while ago, and you're going to get to work on coloring these going from all the white to yellow and blue. Yeah, I am going to use the duct tape. So I'm pulling out a good strip of it. Kinda. So definitely bring out the popcorn, because you're watching it as it happens. We're painting the shoes. 2 months I've been a CPU goddess. Almost 2 months.
How are you doing?
Hello. Hey everybody, guest starters. Barbara Ann. There's Barbara Ann. Say hello. Oh, darn it. Oh boy. Everybody's seen that mark on your face. Tell them what happened.
You know, but I'm not going to see anybody that's going to say anything.
Yeah. Mama tripped on the wet grass outside. Hit her face on the ground. Jeez. But I helped pick her up and got her inside. Got her ointment, emergency treatment. She's okay. Now what was I doing? Oh, right.
How much did they cost?
The shoes?
Yeah.
Oh, they were about $50.
50?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Yeah, they're really nice shoes.
They are. They look nice.
Yeah, they're gonna be even nicer after I finish customizing.
I bought another roll of duct tape today.
Oh yeah, I noticed you did. Yeah, when you
It's expensive.
when you got the screws for the mirror. Yeah, she's making a vertical mirror. It's going to be horizontal for gonna be hanging it in my place here, my room here later after she gets it done. But she's been doing very well. She's very awesome. She's quite physically able and whatnot. She can. I'm very proud of my mom.
I'm real proud of you, too.
Thank you.
Boy, that van drives good with those new tires.
Oh, excellent.
I stopped bleeding, so I washed the dried blood off.
Well, that's good. I'm really sorry you tripped. Jeez.
It was the grass. Everything was so wet.
Oh yeah.
My body is still in shock, so I'm not doing anything tonight.
Well, that's okay.
I'm just resting.
Yeah, except you still went ahead and cooked dinner, didn't you?
Yeah.
I deviate from the norm. I am a CPU goddess storm. Just kidding as I say that. Not a storm. Oh, okay. Plastic gloves. Excuse me.
I have a suggestion.
What's your
Let's donate the 4 pillows to Goodwill.
No. I may have a need for those.
2 of them.
No, I may have a need for those. No, just no. No.
Okay.
No. Not the body pillows. Latex gloves. Why didn't I think of this sooner? Should have done this sooner. I can't think of everything simultaneously. And there's the reason why I have I have some black paint. Carefully push this thing. Whatever. Easy. Not damn.
Those other glasses didn't work for me.
Dope. We're gonna get those adjusted for you. I bet.
I need to get new glasses. Maybe September I can afford.
You hear that, people? Send me a couple of $100 and I can get my mother a new pair of glasses.
Did you put the Civil Wall chart on eBay?
No. And I have too many other things to worry about other than frickin' eBay. And don't I have so many responsibilities. And, you know my life, folks. Stay tuned for further details on the life of a CPU in training. Have fun. I got a blue ring on my finger.
Got it on the carpet.
Don't worry about the carpet.
I've enjoyed my time with you. I think I'll go lay on my back. Let my back rest.
Okay.
Because it hurts.
I hear you. I love you, dear.
Love you, baby. See you later.
See you later.
Oh, I washed all your towels and washcloths.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna lay your washcloths here.
Oh no, put them there, please. Put them on the clothing stack. And leave those. Those are just receipts from today, among which, and that's the shoe receipt you're looking at. Would you please put it back and get out of my way? You're in my way right now.
Don't forget to shred them.
I'll shred them later. Thank you.
Okay.
Go on. Thank you. I love you.
Love you.
I don't want to get interrupted. Don't interrupt. Okay, so essentially the point is, we got both shoes, mostly both shoes painted. Gonna wait for the paint to dry. It's gonna take about half an hour or so. And I'm pretty much gonna end this video right now. Alright, so anyway, that's it. I'm Christine Chandler. You have been watching this channel. You have been watching me color shoes. Thank you. Have a good day. Support this CPU. Blue Heart, Quickfill, yes.
On August 5th, Christine responded to a YouTube video from attorney and YouTuber Rekieta Law, which featured Kiwi Farms administrator and guard dog Null as a guest, who discussed the extortion committed by the Idea Guys. Chris objected to Null's dismissive comments against her pastoral counselor, Rocky Shoemaker, and her friend, Anna McLaren, who said that they did nothing to help Christine. Chris wrote on Twitter that the two were simply unable to help with the police, and did not in fact refuse to assist authorities. Chris requested an apology from Null on the Kiwi Farms. Null instead went to the farms to elaborate that Anna had been veritably harassing Chris for 2 days, pleading with her to cease all contact with the guard dogs, namely Null, Marvin, and the captain, the Kiwi Farms members close to her who greatly helped her in ceasing the Idea Guy's influence over her. The captain told forum users that Christine was messaging him to vent because Anna was giving her too much stress. Despite Anna's actions, Chris informed the captain that she wanted the guard dogs to remain in her life. On August 9th, Chris went to Twitter to ask if she always had freckles on her face, since she just noticed them herself. On August 13th, Christine was photographed waiting for her meeting with her therapist at the Region 10 Community Services Board, wearing her Sailor Moon tiara and a head and hairband, as her Nightstar plush doll accompanied her. Later on, she watched a video posted by artist Project SNT, which featured her radical redesigns of Sonichu and Rosechu. Chris wrote on Twitter that SNT happened to draw a Sonichu and Rosechu from a different dimension than that of which everyone knew, and described their respective origin stories. She defended the way she originally drew Rosechu because it was what she allegedly saw when she witnessed her for the first time, declaring that she had a strong psychic link with that dimension for her entire life. Chris then tagged Seanan McGuire, the writer who first told her about the existence of multiple Earths in the multiverse seen in the Marvel comic books. Christine wrote that McGuire surely could relate to Chris's interdimensional psychic link, to which McGuire replied, "No, I really can't. Please don't drag me into this. When I was talking about a multiverse, I was talking about the imaginary multiverse as exists in Marvel Comics canon, not a real place you can really access." Chris apologized for her previous assumptions, but still let her know that writers, such as herself, had the power to project themselves into other dimensions. Also on that day, she shared a diagram showcasing how she supposedly transformed between her various forms, namely Christian Sonichu, her pony form, CPU Blueheart, and Blueheart's Sonichu form. Later again, a Twitter user shared with her a fan illustration of Scarlet Blueheart in a voluptuous form, to which Chris responded by stating neither Scarlet nor herself were fat. Finally, on the 13th, she posted a video decrying the announced My Little Pony Generation 5 TV series, which would replace the current Generation 4 iteration and would drastically deviate in art style.
Hey there, everybody. This is Christine Chandler coming to you live from home once again. People of Earth 1218, heed my warning. Spoiler alert, I had seen the future and I had to prevent it. Princess Twilight Sparkle was about to upgrade Applejack to Alicorn status. but it backfires. Twilight's wings get put onto Pinkie Pie, and Twilight's horn gets onto Fluttershy, and it's just no good, and that's how we end up with that frickin' G5. We must prevent this. This is not gonna work out, and I have foreseen this. This is very, very bad. So I had just conferred with Twilight and Princess Celestia as well, and Celestia and I are in agreement, as she had seen the future as well. We must prevent this G5 mistake from ever happening. And yes, G4 will continue. But anyway, heed my word, Hasbro, and everybody on the MLP show. Generation 5 must never happen. And G4 must have at least 5 more seasons. Heed this. Heed our warning. This is an official command from your CPU Blue Heart, in agreement with Princess Celestia of Equestria, all of which in our sister dimension. Thank you.
She reiterated her anger at the announcement of a new series without the wanted resolution in the G4 storyline in a Twitter thread that same day, vaguely threatening Hasbro, the owners of the MLP franchise. Christine continued replying to other Twitter users the next day, proclaiming G5 would bring downfall upon Equestria and everyone residing both in their sister dimension and the real world as well. On August 15th, Chris uploaded a brief video of herself yelling out of frustration, possibly as a result of the My Little Pony debacle. Over the next few days, she received several negative ratings from her buyers on eBay, complaining that the items they had purchased from her never arrived. On August 17th, Chris listed a newly made Roastew cardboard standee for $150. By this date, her overall positive rating stood at 90.1%. This was followed by a video advertisement of her eBay products that was posted on her Facebook page. She further begged for people to buy her items on Twitter, as the Chandlers were nearly broke and their cats and dogs needed food. The captain revealed on the Kiwi Farms that she had asked him to advertise her eBay page to others, but he refused upon learning that Chris had spent around $2,000 on My Little Pony merchandise at BronyCon. Also on the 17th, she posted another short video clip on Twitter in which she recites a so-called earworm.
Rap, 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 rap. Rap.
3 days later, Chris uploaded a YouTube video starring her mother Barbara, advertising some of Chris's eBay products, including a signed photo of Barbara herself.
Go.
My name is Barbara Chandler. I am autographing pictures to be sold on eBay. Thank you for buying. We appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Wait. We tell them to buy the other things as well, aside from that.
It will help us to buy food for the rest of the month. Thank you.
And buy everything else from Christine Chandler on eBay. Thank you. Definitely the high-ticketed items as well. Jeez. Oh well. We did okay.
Not long after posting the video, Chris halved the prices of her own autographed photos, resulting in them selling out within an hour. Christine had begun to embrace her infamy once more by increasing her merchandise output. However, like with the ideas she sought from her circle of friends and acquaintances, she focused on instant gratification with no foresight of her future outlook, dooming herself to an endless cycle of foregoing needs in favor of wants, ignoring mistakes of her past that she was bound to relive in the future.